What is going on, everyone? Welcome to 24/7 Football. Still recording in the boiling sunshine, hottest day of the year, and I'm sweating my back off, so I do apologise for the glare from the sun. Can't be helped, but this is the only place that I can record at the moment. So this is going to be a new series whilst football is back and it's behind closed doors. So it's going to be a talking point series. We'll probably do one once a week just to talk about what's been happening in football whilst we're playing behind closed doors, what the talking points are, as well as we've got Premier League and Championship back at the moment. The first talking point, and it's across the board, this one, is as we've come back into football, the quality's not quite been there. And there's many factors to this, but it is correct in saying the quality hasn't quite been there from every team. I think the best team that have been totally prepared for coming back was Manchester City. They don't look like they're showing any sort of rustiness, brushing aside Arsenal and Burnley. They look very good. Other teams don't look too great at the moment, but I think it's something we were always going to expect, because teams have been out for 2 months, 3 months, and coming back, yes, they were able to prepare and they came back to training, but at first it was non-contact training in isolated groups. Some of it was just gym work as well. They've not had a full pre-season, which is probably what they need. They've had a longer break than they would have at the end of a season. So to come back, to expect them to perform at the levels that they previously did before lockdown, it's a bit unfair. Another factor really is, there's no crowd, and I think teams really respond to the crowd in a stadium. I think you just give that extra 10% in front of a huge sellout crowd with the atmosphere pushing you on, and I think everyone will agree with the fact that the crowd not being there has had an impact on the quality of the game. From a viewing perspective as well, I mean, I personally watch it with the crowd noise on Sky, just because it feels a little bit more authentic, but even then it's fake. Yes, the quality of the games haven't been there. We just need to see it out to the end of the season, but at least there's some football back. Next up on talking points is VAR. It wouldn't be the football season without us talking about our beloved VAR. Some absolute howlers coming out of football returning. Of course, the first one wasn't actually to do with VAR, it's to do with Hawkeye, because Sheffield United thought they'd scored after the Aston Villa keeper took it into his own net. Appalling goalkeeping. It was 100% behind the line. The TV cameras could see it. It was a one in 9,000 chance that all 7 cameras couldn't see, because of the way that the ball was angled at the post and the way that the players were angled around the ball as well. It's ludicrous. It is ludicrous, because the ball was clearly over the line. The TV cameras can see that the ball was over the line. It was behind the post. So why can't VAR intervene? And Chris Wilder was right. I mean, it's so frustrating when Sheffield United are putting together, and this is any team as well, but Sheffield United putting together a brilliant season. They end up drawing the game 0-0. Manchester United draw with Tottenham. If Sheffield United won, they would have been level on points with United. It's little decisions like that that could really cost a team such as Sheffield United really pushing up the table and going for those European football places. Imagine if that happens in a relegation battle. It's crazy, absolutely crazy that things like that can happen when we've got the technology in place. So the next point is from the Tottenham versus West Ham game, okay? So it was 0-0 at the time, and a ball swings in from a corner. Davinson Sanchez goes up, brushes his arm, goes to a little scramble in the box, and it's a Thomas Souček own goal, okay? Now, the rule has been brought in for this season that if the ball strikes your arm, regardless of the intent, and it leads to a goal, the goal will be chalked off. So in the build-up play, if it strikes your arm, you don't mean it, it doesn't matter, it's chalked off. And whether or not you agree with the rule, you can agree that at least it's clear-cut. At least you know where you stand. And we've seen it countless times this season that rule has been used correctly. We saw it with Wolves, and we saw it with Manchester City at the start of the season against Tottenham again. Another case of VAR ruining a 90th minute winner for City against Tottenham. So the ball hit Laporte's arm, and then it went to Jesus. He grabbed the winner. Cue the celebrations, cue VAR ruling it out. And again, it's not whether you agree with the rule. The rules are there, and it was disallowed. According to the rules, according to the book. Now, the ball strikes Sanchez's arm. I think that's clear as day. Everyone can see that it brushes his arm. I don't think you can deny it. And it then, goes to a Thomas Souček on goal. So that goal shouldn't be allowed. But somehow the goal gets given. I mean, there's no consistency. Even with VAR, we have no consistency. So that goal was given. David Moyes is fuming. And then he says after the game, whoever's doing VAR should be subbed off. I think that was David Moyes' attempt at a little bit of humour in the situation. But he is raging. I'm not saying that West Ham would have won the game or come away with anything, They lost 2-0. And Tottenham are the better side. But we have to be consistent, and we have to see that given as handball. Next up is Arsenal and David Luiz. Now, Arsenal have been shocking since they have come back into football from the extended break of COVID-19. In terms of Mikel Arteta, I think Mikel Arteta will be a great manager, and I do want to see him given the time at Arsenal, because I'm a little bit biased as a City fan, but he's come through at City. He's been a fantastic assistant manager, and yeah, you want to see him given the chance to grow and to succeed. Now, he's gone into this Arsenal squad, which I think it's a shocking squad. The players don't play the way that you think they should. They don't play with the heart or the desire. Defensively, absolutely awful. When you've got a back line of Mustafi and David Luiz, it's always going to be an uphill struggle. And David Luiz, wow, horrendous defending against City. So he comes on, because Mario went off injured, so he comes on. He gives away the first goal because he can't clear a pass that's coming directly at him. He gives it right to Sterling. Sterling volleys it in just after half-time. You think it couldn't get worse. He brings down Mahrez, who's through on goal, doesn't make an attempt to play for the ball. Red card, penalty, 2-0. You're playing with 10 men against Manchester City. It's never going to end well. And he single-handedly ruined the game. The one thing I did respect is that he wanted to come out and address it after the game. And he said that he wanted to play for Arsenal. He apologises to the fan base. He takes full responsibility for it. And we don't see enough of that in football. So I do appreciate what he did, and I respect him for that. But then Arsenal go and give him a 1-year contract extension. I think with injuries and the way things were going, I don't think they really had a choice. But he's got a 1-year contract extension. You more than likely, you don't want to see him really on the pitch. And I think the loss to Brighton and Manchester City's really instilled that Arsenal need a huge overhaul in the summer. And given the financial crisis that we're in, have they got the money to spend? Because they really need reinforcements, particularly at the back. You think they've got Sabria coming in, they need another centre-back. They need an attacker, and they need a creative midfielder that can really string together passes, because, well, they've got one on the bench in Mesut Ozil on 350 grand a week, but he's not in the squad, he's not playing. And it's just such a strange culture at Arsenal at the moment. But I do think Mikel Arteta's the right man, and I do want to see him given the time to put this right. Give him a few transfer windows and stick by him, because I do think he'll be a bright manager for the future. But it's a tough fan base, a really tough fan base to keep happy when you're producing results like that. So something needs to change at Arsenal, and they need some investment in that squad. So that was the talking points from this past week of football. Let me know what you think in the comments below, what you think of football returning behind closed doors, and any other talking points you think that I've missed. We're open for a discussion in the comments below. Check out our website as well, 247football.com. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Like the video as well, and we will see you next time.